Now at 6, a Southwest Missouri man is sentenced to prison for murder. We'll have details. Plus, a former NFL Players Foundation teamed up with organizations to provide safe drinking water for a family in McDonald County. And we'll hear from a Carl Junction boy on the moment of a lifetime he had with Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Lawrence County, Missouri judge today sentenced a man to prison for murder. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Jamie Lee Godfrey of Marionville was convicted of second-degree murder in the death of 50-year-old Jess Davis. Police found Davis's body inside his Marionville home in September of last year. Godfrey is sentenced to 25 years in prison. Prosecutors, investigators, and community members still have unanswered questions 1 week after a woman banged on neighbors' doors for help in Excelsior Springs. A days-long investigation followed. Timothy Hazlitt Jr. is charged with rape, kidnapping, and second-degree assault after a woman told police she escaped being held hostage in his basement since September. Reporter Emily Rittman has more.
On October 7th, a 22-year-old woman with a metal collar with a padlock on it and duct tape around her neck asked strangers for help. Neighbors called 911 and let her inside a nearby home until police arrived.
She told me that she was being held and that the person she was being held by lived up the street.
Investigators took Hazlitt Jr. into custody when he returned to the home where he lived off Old Orchard Avenue. Then a methodical search of the property began.
We're devoting all the resources we can to finding out exactly what happened in Excelsior Springs and holding the person responsible for what we know so far accountable. So we have several prosecutors assigned to working on this, and there's a wide range of investigators we've gained the assistance of in order to work on this case.
Clay County Prosecutor Robert Sanders says police and prosecutors are exploring all evidence to determine what information they still need to uncover.
Are there additional victims? That's always something we explore in any case like this, to run down every lead to determine whether there is somebody else who may have been victimized or may need our help. But it's always something we have to check off the list.
The search warrant return that details what was taken from the home has been sealed for at least 30 days. Prosecutors are asking community members to speak up if they have information about Hazlitt Jr. or the investigation.
You may think you know something that is completely irrelevant, but we're always looking for background information. We're looking for anyone who might have any contact with anyone involved or the locations involved. Any knowledge whatsoever, we encourage you to call the TIPS hotline.
Hazlitt Jr. is scheduled to be in court next week for a bond hearing. He entered a not guilty plea. The Missouri election's coming up in less than a month for other states as well. Something new is that all Missouri voters must show a federal or state ID in order to vote. Officials say if you do not have a federal or state ID, then you must use a provisional ballot. That's for voters who arrive at the polls on Election Day and whose eligibility to vote is uncertain, allowing them to vote without it being counted until eligibility is confirmed.
What they will do is they will get a ballot, they will fill out their ballot, they will put it in a blue provisional envelope, and we get it back that Tuesday night. Come Wednesday and Thursday, we will be processing all of those provisional ballots, and those that have the correct signature and the correct information on it, those will count.
Election Day is November 8th. Hey, and be sure to download the KOAM News app for all your election needs. You can also go to our website for election information. That's koamnewsnow.com/elections. That website's going to include resources for all of the 4 state areas, such as polling places, deadlines, dates. You can even check to see if you're registered to vote. Once again, that's koamnewsnow.com/elections. It was a cold night last night. We have another cold one ahead. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we dropped all the way down into the upper 20s last night, so we skipped our first frost and went straight to our first freeze across the region, and today we struggled to even get into the upper 40s for afternoon highs. But tonight it gets even colder. than what we saw this morning. Clear skies, nothing's going on outside except the cold. Already down to 45 in Stockton, 44 in Neosho. Grand Lake 46, Pittsburgh at 45. Parsons is sitting at 47 degrees at this time. It's been kind of breezy as well. We've had these northerly winds at about 10 to 20. Thankfully, these are going to calm down as we go through the evening hours, but look at our temps. So 41 here shortly at 7, 28 by midnight, and then 24 by 6, an overnight low of 22. So we have a prolonged freeze tonight of about 8 to 9 hours. When are we going to warm up? We'll look at that coming up here in just a bit.
All right, catch you then. The Chris Long Foundation is teaming up with Xylem Inc. and the Water Well Trust to provide clean, safe drinking water to a family of 6 in Newell, Missouri. KOAM Shagun Bamidele has more about the challenges they faced.
The Whitehead family is currently living with limited access to clean, potable water after lightning struck their well pump in 2021. Now, they are getting a new well drilled and installed thanks to a local company and Xylem Inc.
The old well just had a low yield, so they were only able to space out, do laundry once a day and take showers, and then they had to wait for the water to recoup, so it was a very low producing well.
With eyes filled with tears and hearts filled with emotions, the Whitehead family tells me how grateful they are to have received this opportunity.
Very humbling. I've been in tears all morning long about the whole thing because it's such a great picture of generosity, the generosity of people who care. You know, I mean, we weren't asking for a handout. We were just asking for a low interest loan, and they ended up donating everything to us.
Xylem's marketing director says the company decided to help the Whiteheads after learning about their story.
With their situation that they have four children, four foster children on top of that, and the need was great here, and we have a great local partner, so that's how we decided that this was a good fit for us.
She says life will be easier for the family with the new system.
Well, it's going to make their life a little bit easier, right? This well alone, they would have had to pay back $15,000 to $20,000 most likely with every, it's an 800-foot well. They're super appreciative. It's just gonna make their life a little easier.
In Newell, Shagun Bamidele, KOAM News.
That project is expected to be completed this week. Still ahead, we're going to hear from an area kid on his chance to meet Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. And later, we'll take a look at representation among black farmers across the state of Missouri.
K-State. A young Buffalo Bills fan from Carl Junction saw his birthday wish come true on Sunday afternoon in Kansas City. And not only did he get to watch his favorite team play and win, but he got a special gift from his favorite player and memories that will last a lifetime. Carl Junction's Cole White got his first taste of Arrowhead on Sunday.
It was kind of loud. It just kind of annoying, really.
Cole is a Buffalo Bills fan, and more specifically, a fan of Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
He started watching the games, and it was Josh Allen this and Josh Allen that. He was Josh Allen for Halloween last year. His number one ask from Santa last year was a Josh Allen jersey. It's just been nonstop Josh Allen ever since.
He got to see Allen and the Bills beat the Chiefs on Sunday to celebrate his 10th birthday. But it was what happened in the minutes after the game that made the day truly unforgettable.
The sign said, "Josh Allen, it's my birthday. Can I get a picture with you?" I just thought he was going to run in our direction and maybe hit some hands and run down the tunnel and get out of there.
I started going into shock. I was like, is he actually coming here? Is it really happening?
Cole got a ball and a selfie with his favorite player.
I could see Cole's face, he was just so happy. It was so exciting.
It was an unforgettable day and an unbeatable birthday present for the young Bills fan.
There's nothing that's going to top that.
It was what he wanted, and he just said so many hilarious things this is my bucket list, this is the best birthday in my whole life, nothing will ever top this. And I'm like, nope, you are probably right. Nothing is ever going to top this.
And I imagine for a visiting fan, Arrowhead is a little annoying, when your team has the ball. But Cole's family told me today that in the 2 nights since, he has slept with that ball both nights since that happened. And I don't blame him. Nope, I would have done the same thing.
And I imagine that Josh Allen has won a few more fans just through that gesture.
No doubt.
That was a nice thing to do. A little bit later, we're going to look at a demographic trend among Missouri farmers.
Plus, it looks like a record cold temperatures rolling in tonight. We'll have those details coming up.
It's fabulous.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a chilly day for us today. We should be topping out right around 70 degrees. We couldn't hit 50 for an afternoon high, even with clear skies all day long. Still clear skies right now. Nice shot. Lander Chevrolet Tower Cam on the southeast side of the city that is shutting down the live stream. Oh, there it's back. But you can see clear skies. Roads are dry, and we're going to see that as we go through the next several days. All right, so far this month of October, we've only had 4 days below normal a couple weeks ago, and then of course the past couple days, but we're trending downward. We're not seeing the best fall foliage just due to the very hot, dry summer, and then it's been pretty warm so far up to this point. But freeze warnings in effect. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, and Missouri got cold enough last night, so we're done with freeze warnings as we go through the rest of the fall season and then into the winter. 45 in Stockton, it's 44 in Neosho, Miami 45, 45 in Pittsburgh. 46 in Fort Scott, 49 out to the west in Sedan. But look at this, we aren't alone. Look at all the cold air, the eastern third of the country, but starting to warm back up in the western high plains. So we will, after tomorrow morning, start to see a warming trend as we go through the next few days. It's also been kind of breezy. Northerly winds 10 to 20 all day long. It's still kind of breezy right now, but these will start to die down in just a bit as we go through the overnight hours. Currently at 45, which will drop quickly now that the sun is setting. Humidity at 23% through the evening hours. Will drop through the 30s all the way down into lower 20s later on tonight. Clear skies, nothing going on here. In fact, the entire Central Plains, we are dry. We're still watching this big upper level low across the Great Lakes kind of pumping in that cooler air. No big storm systems out to the west over the next few days, but it will start to get active by the time we head into next week. Let's step through the next 24 hours. Upper 20s by midnight. We'll drop all the way down lower 20s. Look at this, 19 Fort Scott, 22 Independence, 19 in Grove, 20 in Neosho. So a cold start. We're going to make it into the mid 40s by noon, and then most of us will go upper 50s. We'll get some clouds in here late in the day. Still kind of chilly this time of the year, but heading in the right direction. 47 by noon, 56, 5 p.m. Westerly winds 5 to 10. Kind of in and out of the clouds tomorrow night. Not as cold, upper 30s by Thursday morning. And then as we head into Thursday afternoon, we bounce to 70. So we're heading back in the right direction. Almost too warm because we go to 80 on Friday, near 80 all the way through the weekend. Partly sunny skies. Here comes that next storm system moving in by Monday, giving us chances for showers and thunderstorms and also bringing in cooler temperatures once again. 57 tomorrow, 72 Thursday, 81 Friday, 80 Saturday, 80 Sunday. Rain chances, at least low chances by Monday and Tuesday, something that we desperately need. We're still way behind on rainfall, so it'd be nice if we can get some. But temperatures, what a spread the next few days.
This is a real tug of war between seasons right now. I'm thinking eventually winter is likely to win.
Yeah, I mean, usually does every year.
It usually goes that way. Thanks, Doug. Joplin drivers can expect another detour this week. Starting tomorrow, West 4th Street east of Schifferdecker is going to be closed to complete a water line tap. Detours will be in place. The road closure is expected to last about 2 days. Coming up, a look at the decreasing number of minority farmers and how the state of Missouri looks to bring them into agriculture. A USDA report shows black farmers represent less than 1% of the more than 160,000 farmers in Missouri. Nationally, the number of black farmers has declined. Reporter Lauren Turman spoke with experts to understand the issue in Missouri and why it mirrors a national trend.
Oh, so come on. Lorenzo Powell is a sixth-generation cattle farmer. His family has owned this farm in Fulton since the emancipation of slavery. Powell spends his days breeding cows the same way his ancestors have for decades.
I started coming around in about 2010 and started buying my own cattle and raising my own cattle.
Powell represents what he calls a dying species. He is one of a little over 200 black farmers left in Missouri. That is less than 1% of the 162,000 plus farmers statewide.
Honestly, I'm honored to be this type of representation for the black community, just to be able to diligently do this part of agriculture, as well as doing something that I'm very passionate about.
A U.S. Department of Agriculture study showed black farmers make up just over 1% of all farmers, with more than 850,000 leaving the profession in the last 100 years.
Young people are not really, taking up farming because of the history behind agriculture in the country.
Dr. Clement Akotson-Mensah researches insects at Lincoln University and provides insight to farmers about what their patterns look like. He points to the Industrial Revolution as what drove black farmers away from farming and into larger cities for better wages. He now credits the state government's support of Lincoln's $4.5 million Farms and Hemp initiative to inspire minorities to become interested in agriculture again.
We believe that there is good future for our farmers if they enter into different enterprises and then diversify whatever they do. Because when you diversify, if one enterprise does not work, another one will work for you.
Powell, who studied at Lincoln, says he hopes that people look into programs across Missouri to help bring the number of minority farmers back to what it once was.
Whether they're just doing a small garden in their own backyards, or if they want to branch out and be larger and have a couple hundred acres, or even smaller scale, 50 acres or so, just to do your own thing, provide for your family, provide for the nation.
Both Powell and Dr. Akotson-Mensah said the U.S. Department of Agriculture is very helpful in helping to attain grants and funding for their farming and agricultural needs. And specifically, the Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Program is extending its reach to help close the diversity gap in farming. Final check of the forecast next. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Raymond Hinkle served in the U.S. Army from 1951 to 54. His hometown, Pittsburgh. And we're proud to salute Sergeant First Class Raymond Hinkle, a four-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The Joplin School District holds a ceremony for the newest inductees into its District Hall of Fame. Plus, how the federal government is taking steps to address the country's mental health crisis. And we're going to check out a facility in Arizona cryogenically preserving people for the future. Those stories, a lot more. It's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The theme of this year's Joplin Christmas Parade might stir up some sweet memories.
Candyland Christmas.
The announcement came today from Freeman Health System and city leaders. The theme, Christmas in Candyland, is intended to be reminiscent of the classic children's board game. That game has been around for more than 70 years.
When we think of Christmas, we often think of our childhoods, we think of Christmases past, and what is more iconic than Candyland? Most people have played it themselves as children or play it now with their children and grandchildren. So I think it will be a lovely reminder of home, of family, and all of the traditions we hold dear.
That parade is going to be on December 6th along Main Street. It begins at 6 p.m. Funds generated by the parade will go to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It's going to be cold out there again tonight.
It is even colder than what we had this morning. Record lows all the way down about 21 to 23 degrees by morning. Still chilly tomorrow, but heading back in the right direction.
And a sports note.
Oh, in about 30 minutes, we're going to record episode 8 of the Pigskin Podcast. We're going to talk about Seneca trying to finish off an undefeated regular season. Chanute as well. Check that out tomorrow.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon services